So, thank you for nominating me to run as your next president. Last night I was thinking about whether I was going to make this dramatic or theatrical, but then I realized, I'm just going to give it to you all straight. For those of you that don't know me, before TP, I had a lot of leadership experience with large organizations. In the Philippines, I founded Mission Youth, the very first high school-based student-run, student-founded mission group, and that flew around the country to provide relief missions. We started with 10 members, $200 in our bank account, ended with $85,000 and $50,000, all in 1 year. Coming to SC, I served as one of the new member advisors for Phi Alpha Delta. And in my second year, I worked as the campaign head for 3 different campaigns for the California Public Interest Research Group. That was the Energy Service Corps, Solar LA, and Reclaiming Democracy. For each of those campaigns, I raised over $40,000 and collected over 25,000 different signatures from all over Southern California. So I know my shit. My joining this club was actually kind of a fluke. It was last year's spring fair that I was actually tabling for CalPERG, and I saw this one guy running with the flag right over his head. His name was Randy. I was intrigued, and I asked him, "Bro, there are Filipinos here?" And from that conversation, I ended up going to every single Troy Phi event that semester. I think I missed one, which was ice skating, but my tailbone was broken. I didn't want to break it again. So the thing is, I love this club. It's given me a lot, and it's about time I fucking gave back. Now, I don't think that this club is in a transition period. I think that our growth is a period in which it marks the beginning of exponential growth. We're in a very special position to expand beyond anything we could ever have dreamed of. I've served as your external vice president this whole year, and I'm pretty sure our external relations are fine. They don't just know us, they fucking love us. And that's how it's gonna stay. Now they're gonna keep loving us only if we can provide the same amount of support to them that they've given us this semester, this whole year. And besides what Christian and Rachel said with changing up our inner structure, I want to be able to make TP the liaison between external organizations and internal organizations within the USC community. So I was thinking that we always talk about this open space, but I want to create a space that I had to write it down because it's very, very specific. I want a space that promotes honest and transparent discourse without fear of backlash for wanting truthful interaction between not only individual members, but more so the leaders of the different organizations on this campus. I want us to be able to talk about the issues that matter to us, the issues that matter to each individual organization, the issues that matter to the general members. And I want to be able to provide a means for them to create projects, to create events. I want to be able to be a means for these people to make things happen for the issues that matter to them. That being said, I want a big event next semester. Not in the spring, I want it to happen in the fall. I want to create something models around Summit. I want to create a summit for performance. So, you know how every APOSA organization has their own PCN and how they present it through performances. So I want to create a summit that brings together all of APOSA by talking about how to present these issues theatrically, cinematically, and be able to make it relatable to the current generation. And once that's through, I want to work off those networks for us to become the #1 cultural organization on campus. Yes, I did say #1. I'm sorry if any of you are part of the others, but that's the dream. Now, that's the dream. So I never said reaching this dream would be easy. I can't promise that now. But this new path will be harder, but we'll become stronger from it. This path will be longer, but we will walk together as a family, supporting each other through this path. Nobody will be left behind as we pull each other together, and we will learn from our mistakes. We will thrive in our strengths, and we will keep our eyes focused on that distant horizon, knowing that destiny will guide us, that we are reaching that goal and that fortune shines upon us as members of this great organization. Vote for me.
Right, so you were talking about raising $50,000, raising $40,000, but you were also the EVP for this year. And we ran into a lot of funding issues and a lot of money issues. How do you ensure as the president that, how we're gonna fundraise, especially since you wanna do a big event in the fall, that gives us such a small amount of time to fundraise for such a big event?
The thing is, with raising those numbers for those other organizations, they had big missions and big goals that catered to a very large audience. A lot of our financial issues now dealt with the fact that we didn't have a very big audience to cater to. So if we can work on that, and then we can expand our audience, then I'm sure we can like solve these issues financially. We can solve these financial issues. So I'm thinking that, we work from our networks, the external networks, but at the same time, we find ways to make it appealing to USC campus first. Because essentially, that's the truth. Our campus, our students, they're willing to back these issues, to back events for these things, so long as we give them something to back, All right. Joe?
How would you describe your leadership style?
Aggressive.
At least he's honest. At least he's honest.
What do you think some problems we have for this e-board that you can improve on for next year?
Well, I'm sure Christian and Rachel touched upon it. We do definitely need something of a committee system. The thing is, our club has grown rather quickly and unexpectedly all in 1 year. But the beauty of that is that we have general members who not only want to be at our events, but want to be more involved with the club. If you can get them more involved early on, then we can start creating committees per event. We can start delegating tasks so that not just the board members are swamped with all these duties.
So your leadership style is aggressive, and some of us have witnessed that ourselves, or we heard it from you now. Let's say next year your board doesn't respond well to your aggressive leadership style. How will you adapt to that?
Then I tone down the aggressiveness.
When you sing a Les Mis song again?
Yes, I'm willing to serenade you all if it comes to that. But really, some of you members would know here that I am very willing to go beyond the call for the people of this club, and there is no excuse for you guys to doubt that. Yeah, go.
So I know one of the issues that we ran into with PACF and getting funding from USG was that we weren't catering to enough of the USC population.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that for this summit you're really pushing for APASA involvement. How do you expect to reach out to the people outside of APASA and who aren't Asian?
Well, the beauty of that is that we're dealing with theatrical, cinematical presentation, because Zach and I have been talking about all the cliches with PCNs. And the way that everybody goes through the same patterns, and it's the same thing with a lot of other culture shows. But if we can also expand to just acting workshops, cinema workshops, production workshops, then definitely we have one of the very best cinema schools in the country. And we live in Los Angeles, Hollywood is right there. I'm sure we're gonna get an audience so long as we get the right workshops in the mix.
Alright, so this is a vision, right?
Yeah.
Culture and community versus social, where do you gravitate towards? And how do you plan on sort of combining those two aspects of Troy, Philippines?
What do you mean social?
The social aspect of the club in terms of socials itself and the parties. The parties is a big issue.
Well, the parties, honestly, they're nice, but the point of this club is that we create a community to celebrate our culture. And that's where we need to go. The socials happen so that we can celebrate each other, we can celebrate our members, we can celebrate our friends with these other organizations. But for us to move forward, we really do have to focus on this community and culture. So that's where I'm going to lean this incoming year. Although the parties will still be sick.
We have time for one more?
Sure. Last question. So as president, you're pretty much in charge of everyone. So if someone doesn't do their work, you're accountable for keeping them accountable as well. How would you deal with a person that doesn't do their job, or they think they're doing their job, but you feel like it's not enough?
Well, no. First things off, understand where they fucked up. 2, pull them to the side, ask them, why do you fuck up? From there you can deal with it, but I can deal with it either by lightening their tasks or understanding like where they're coming from. Is this what you're asking?
Yeah.
How to deal with it personally? Okay, so, but honestly, like, when it comes to e-board meetings, work is separate from personal life. In e-board meetings, if you can't show the work that you need to do, that's going to be a problem. And that's something that you're going to have to take the blunt for. But understand that you won't be doing it alone. We're going to be there to support you to make sure that these goals are reached. But outside of work, we're going to support you to make sure that, next week you can keep working. Next week you can like face this problem, face the fact that we threw all this shit at you. And we're still all friends in the end, that we're still part of this e-board. Okay.
All right, everybody.